Welcome everyone. This is chapter 3 of an SPSS Companion to Political Analysis. And this is the chapter in which we cover a data transformation. I'm in NES 2012 here, and this is the first guided example in the book in which we recode marital status from several marital statuses to two. Respondents are either going to be unmarried or married. First, let's get a frequency analysis of the variable. This variable is dem underscore marital, of course. Let's see what it looks like here. There's quite a bit of detail. Notice over here we've got 6 codes for marital status. Married is coded 1, code 2 is married, spouse absent. So the first 2 classifications are married respondents. Codes 3 through 6 are unmarried in some way of being unmarried, widowed, divorced, separated, or never married. We like this variable. We don't want to change it, but we're going to create a new variable called married. It's going to be coded 1 for codes 1 and 2, married respondents, and coded 0 for codes 3 through 6 on dem marital, those who are unmarried. Now, there are 3 rules when you do a recode. We just observed the first one. The first rule is to get a frequency distribution of the variable you intend to manipulate. The second rule is after you do it, do the recode, you've got to check your work. And thirdly, after everything checks out that way, get into the data set and properly label the values of the newly created variable. So when we look at this, we can see, for example, we know what the new variable should look like. If you look down the cumulative frequency column here, we can see that 57% of the sample are married, codes 1 and 2. Therefore, the remaining 43% will be unmarried. Let's go up here, do transform, recode into different variables. Now, there are some situations in which you would recode into same variables, but by and large, the safe route is to create a new variable and leave the original variable that you're manipulating unchanged. Go down and find the original variable, dem marital, click that into this window. SPSS says, all right, you want to manipulate dem marital. What do you want to name the output variable? We're going to give the output variable the name married. And we're going to label it is are married, question mark. So this looks good. Let's click change. SPSS accepts the change. Dem marital is going to be recoded into married. Click old and new values. Here's how we tell SPSS on the old value panel how to combine the codes of the original variable, and here's where we tell SPSS on the new value panel what codes those combinations are going to take. For example, we know code 1 on the old variable, which is married, spouse present, is going to be coded 1 on married, so we'll just click that in there, 1 to 1. We know 2, I'll type 2 into the old value window up here. Those folks are also going to be coded 1 on the new variable. So as you can see, you could go through each of these codes and just do a 1-to-1 recode. You know, 3 would be 0, 4 would be 0, 5 would be 0, and 6 would be 0. Helpfully, SPSS has provided other ways of doing it that are much more efficient. For example, consider this range radio button here. I'm going to click it. This lets us combine a range of values, for example, and this perfectly fits what we're doing, code 3 through 6. Those are all these codes over here, the unmarried respondents. We've decided we're going to code those as 0. 3 through 6 are 0. This is what's called a binary variable, a 0-1 variable. They're very common in social research. There's one more must do. We have to account for these 11 respondents here on the original variable who are missing. So let's tell SPSS, I'm going to click the system or user missing on the original variable. That covers all possible ways that a respondent could be missing. And those will also be defined as missing on the new variable married. Click add. Missing to sysmiss. That means anything missing will just get a system missing value. So continue. Let's see if it worked. Okay. We'll get it back in here. Frequencies. I'm going to click dem marital back, and first we'll find married. I'm going to hit M. It goes to the variable that we just created. I'm going to run the frequencies on this. Let's see what we've got here. Well, here we go. Those who are married are 57% of the respondents, which fits up here. Married cumulative percentage 57%. Here we just need to look at the valid percent, which is 57, and the rest 43% are coded 0, which we know now and we'll know better after we label the values, are unmarried respondents. So this recode worked. We checked it. It worked. Now let's dress it up by making it a well labeled. Let's label these values. I'm going to go back to the data set. SPSS always deposits newly created variables at the bottom of the data set. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom here. There it is. There are a couple of things to do. One is just a kind of tidying things up. Notice SPSS is giving married 2 decimal points in its value. We don't need that in this case, so I'm going to reduce that to 0 just to take those decimal points out. More importantly, we need to label the values. 0 is no, and 1 is yes. So let's do that. When you hit that, what I did was click in the values cell and hit the button that was in there, and it opened up the value labels window. Value 0, we're going to label as no, add. Okay, 1 equal no. Value label 1 is going to be yes, respondent married. Add 1 equals yes. Looks fine. We'll hit OK. Just one final run to make sure everything looks fine. It's still in there, married. And there we have it. Our codes are here. 0 no, 1 yes. Your output may not have the numeric codes that are carry-alongs. There's a way to get that in edit options, and I'll cover that in another screencast.